This is very close to a traditional Thanksgiving dinner side dish my wife makes already. Today I'm making Otik's Savory Squash, or Yams, from Tika's cookbook and Leaves from the Inn of the Last Home. If you've made this recipe, share your thoughts in the comments below. I took a bit of a different approach to this recipe, as it suggested yams, so I took the bait. I'm much more of a yams fan than squash. That being said, I did forget to put the butter in this opening shot. I began the recipe by collecting the ingredients: 4 large yams, 1/3 cup brown sugar, 3 small tart apples for slices, 1/4 cup white cooking wine, ground cinnamon, ground thyme, and 5 pats butter. I started by buttering the pan. I used a larger pan than was suggested because I had so many large yams. Next, I began peeling the yams, something I forgot about as I washed them just prior to reading that part of the recipe again. Then I did my best to cut the yams into bite-sized pieces. This was a chore for me. I don't know if I'm holding the knife wrong, if it wasn't sharp enough, or if I'm just being too timid, but yams are dense, and that first cut is a pain. Suggestions are welcome here. Then, I placed half of the yams in the baking dish and sprinkled half of the brown sugar on top of them. Then, I placed the remaining yams over the top and sprinkled the last of the brown sugar over top of them. Next, I cut the apples into slices, keeping the skin on. These apples came from my neighbor's apple tree, which we really appreciated. Thanks, Tom! I placed the apple slices over the top of the yams. I broke up the butter pads all over the yams and sugar mixture. Then I poured the white cooking wine over top of everything, making sure to coat as much as possible with it. Lastly, I sprinkled the ingredients first with ground thyme, then ground cinnamon, and covered it with aluminum foil. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and when ready, put the yams in for an hour. This was not long enough. I ended up cooking them for an additional 30 minutes, so the consistency was closer to mashed potatoes than firm yams. The recipe suggested covering it with bacon crumble, which would have been great, but it wasn't included in the ingredient list, so I forsook it for this execution. This is a delicious recipe that, if you like yams, is elevated with the white wine and apple slices. I will definitely be using this recipe this coming Thanksgiving holiday and adding marshmallows. Thank you for tuning in to this DragonLance recipe episode. This has been Adam with DragonLance Saga, and until next time, Slàinte mhath!